meaningful transformation in my own life and the people I get to work with is also learning that we can get like more emotional intimacy from other people and in other ways in romantic life. And get like, or I can use a word like platonic intimacy, and just that closeness, that it doesn't have to be sexual, and it can include touch. It doesn't have to. I think that's so beautiful that often goes hand in hand in both my own journey around platonic cuddling, as well as with clients or in group workshops. And I think that all the same things apply that I was talking about earlier, that we were talking about earlier, that when people get more of that emotional intimacy, and like you were saying, like they know that they're being heard, they know they're being loved and supported, and someone's like really close, like really seeing them in a very present and conscious way, that all these other challenges in our society are acting out in unhealthy ways, and decreases. And it gets me like so happy and excited.
I know,
like thinking
I know.
about the potential.
I mean, I'm like, wow, we start to think about it, like, geez, I can see how some of these problems have been created. It's just at the basic level, we're not in communication with one another. We're not, being emotionally attuned to our neighbors, to our family members. And for the most part, even with ourselves, we're so out of touch with like our own sensations, our own emotional response to things. We're so out of touch with our own triggers and things that we, feel very connected to and very passionate about. Sometimes that self-awareness is also deficient, which impacts like how you're able to relate to other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a really amazing benefit I and others I know get from this kind of work, this kind of connection, is putting away the phones, the technology, the million beeps and little icons, and because I think a real challenge of our culture these days is really being present, and slowing down. And it's so amazing and beautiful for me, both in individual sessions as well as I think you've shared, you've attended as well as facilitated like platonic optional cuddle or touch events in the past, and to see that amazing culture be created of like safety and connection and presence with, like you're saying, both with oneself as well as with others. And when I see that transformation happen, whether it's an individual session or in some ways, I think it can be even more moving for me to see it in a group setting, from when the event starts and people are like, I don't know what, especially if they're new, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, or like, this is weird, like I don't know anyone, to like 3 hours later, not every single time, but for most part, 3 hours later, people feeling so safe and so connected and like so getting their needs met. And it gives me so much amazing hope and like inspiration for the possibility of what the world can be, of what culture can be. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. I'll say for anyone out there, like, you've got to see it to believe it. I mean, in my experience, like for a lot of people, like, you've got to see it to believe it, because the transformation of that culture and the bonds between people in just a few hours, when there's a safe container and people can share emotional closeness optionally, if they want, they can share platonic touch. I mean,
it is amazing. And you're talking the group dynamic, you're right, because again, when you first initially walk into that space, like everybody's kind of like standing sporadically throughout the room and just kind of like, okay, well, you have a few wallflowers over here. You may have somebody sitting on the couch. You may have some people like standing in the middle of the floor or sitting on some chairs. And then as the session moves forward, then you see the transformation happen where people are now becoming more integrated, like, okay, let's reach out to this person. Let me figure out what this person is about. And just that close community feel, you feel it in the room. You're like, okay, the emotional bonding is actually really, really happening. And by the end, then you have people like, hey, meeting here, meeting there. It's like, oh, okay, and you feel like you've known the person
Mm,
5, 10 years, and then by the end, everybody is like, oh my god, I can't wait to see you again, and giving hugs, and it's
mm,
like, give me your phone number, or like, we got to make
yeah.
sure we come together again.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm.
just a really amazing thing to watch. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.